Justin here with Factor 55. We got Light Bright Nation is with us on the trail today. We're gonna take him out and have fun out here, Idaho backcountry. Stick with us. Again, let's give it up for Kevin and Brittany being here, Light Bright. Hey, Factor 55.
Hey, Factor 55.
That's right, boom, boom. So, super excited to be able to, I'm getting paid to go wheeling today, so hopefully if everybody else is burning their PTO, right?
Marketing.
This is how you get paid to do this for a living. A lot of you guys are familiar with this trail. We're just gonna run through here. We're gonna get up to the summit. We'll kind of take a break up there, take a bunch of other photos. All right, man, let's roll. Load her up, let's roll. Sky's out, thighs out. Birkenstocks, no socks, nice. Yep. Made it to the top of the trail. We're out here wheeling today with Light Bright Studios and a lot of guys from the local Jeep clubs here in Boise. So it's been an awesome day. Weather couldn't be better. Check it out. We got so many great Jeeps that are out here. Had a couple of injuries, some crazy stories we're gonna talk about later, but it's been a hell of a day so far, and stick with us, man. We still got more to come.
Years of wheeling, we've never had like a serious injury, you know, some scrapes, bruises, stuff like that. So today is a first for us, and we actually just, I was not there, but tell me what happened, because it is an extremely unique story that if you are squeamish, pause or mute the, yeah.
Well, we were all stopped. Someone was getting winched out. We were kind of on a little bit of a hill. I went to go swing around and get in the doorless Jeep, and my arm hooked on the antenna bullet and it went in, and I was hanging from it under the Jeep.
So you know those antennas that are shaped like really long, sharp bullets? They should put warnings on them, because in case you're wondering, that is like flesh or fat from inside her arm that is still on that. Hold on. I just dude. Okay, so we're gonna go to the doctor. We're gonna make sure it's clean, because obviously our Jeeps are super sanitized. But otherwise you seemed like you're
yeah, I'm awesome.
She's taking this really great.
There's some amazing people.
Yeah, no, thank everyone who helped. Again, that's just the importance of having a first aid kit and stuff in your Jeep when you go wheeling, because it can be a relatively easy trail and accidents happen. have Mr. Justin with Factor 55 with us today, and we are actually right now currently at the world famous Silver City in Idaho. Now, we figured while we were here, we would take this opportunity to do something really important, which is go over some really good to know winch safety tips and tricks, especially right now because recently there was a video that went viral.
All right, dude.
And we figured we just let Justin here go over some of the do's and don'ts and how to avoid, potential winching disasters when you're off-road.
So a couple of common misconceptions, I would say. A lot of people are going to be using soft shackles instead of our traditional heavy hard shackles, right? So there is still a very valuable place for steel and hard shackles in any kind of recovery scenario. So in the video that we're referencing here, this poor technique that was used, we just kind of want to show you a setup so that way you can kind of see what looks like something that would seem to be safe, but is actually a big no-no. So if you follow down to the line here, you're going to see kind of a traditional swing plate pulley block, right? Attached to a soft shackle to one of our hitch receiver shackle mounts. Now, in any kind of scenario, you'd think, okay, well, soft shackle's in a good place, right? We're all hooked up, the line's straight, it's not bound up. But the major problem that you're looking into is that there's no radius on this, right? You have a very small, thin end here going through the soft shackle. Now, even though this soft shackle breaks at 39,000 pounds, the problem that you really come into is that because the bend radius is not big enough to go around this rope diameter, what's going to happen is as soon as this gets under load, you're just going to pull this thing straight through. And when you have that much tension on, when you're already doubling your winch capacity, even slowing the line down, but doubling the pull power here, you're putting that much more stress. So even if you got your 10,000 pound winch, and now you're putting 20,000 pounds of load potentially on this anchor point, it is just going to peel itself right through here. And the line's not going to just fall to the ground. You're not going to just see the slack and see this thing hit the ground. What's going to happen is this heavy piece of metal is now going to become a projectile and shoot back at the other vehicle. So now again, let's follow, if you follow the line coming back to the secondary pull power, let's look how the flat link E to the soft shackle is attached to the bumper tab. Now, one of the things that we see this common all the time. Now, if you get in here real close, we can see is Kevin has done this a few times. So, when you have a sheathed soft shackle like this, it can deal with abrasion and it can deal with a lot of abuse that a standard duty soft shackle cannot. But when you have a sharp edge like this and you're dealing with tension and slack in your winch line pull, what's going to happen is you're just starting to saw through those fibers and you're going to see this outer sheathing starting to get damaged. But if it was just on the exposed rope itself, it would easily just saw right through the fibers, and again, you would have a failure. So in that scenario, that's when your hard shackles still come into play. And a lot of people ask us, even with our recovery kits, the same recovery kit that you see featured on E3, they're the same ones that you see featured even in Lightbright's vehicle, right? The reason why the recovery kit still comes with hard shackles is for this exact reason, where you're gonna take your shackle, you're going to attach it to the bumper tab, and now you've given yourself a generous radius in order to attach your soft shackle to. So now you don't have to worry about this. That's not going anywhere, right? That can deal and rotate on the shackle tab, but that's not going to cause a failure to your soft shackle in this winch rigging. Now, for Lightbright, you can see that they have the flat link E. The flat link E is wonderful in that sense to where if you only had a hard shackle, you could take the bow end of that shackle and simply pass that through the opening and have a single point connection back to the vehicle. So you wouldn't even need the soft shackle in that scenario. But when it comes to the pulley end, and you have this thin plate pulley block that's sitting here attached to whatever the anchor point is, whether it's to a tree saver, whether it's to a bumper mount, to another vehicle that you're trying to recover, that's when, if this is the type of snatch block that you're going to be using, that's when you would stick the shackle in, interface the pin, and have this hard pulley be pulling onto a steel shackle and not the soft shackle. That's the absolute safest way that you can use a traditional swing plate pulley block. The other thing I'd like to point out too is in any scenario where you're going to be using a hard shackle with the pulley blocks or any kind of rigging to where things can shift and get sideways, you should always put the pin facing up. So the little educational joke that we always say here is if you screw down, you never screw up.
That's actually really clever.
We have a t-shirt that says that too.
Oh, do you really? Okay.
It wasn't a hot seller, but I thought it was informative and funny. So that right there is just a good bit of information to know when you're starting to get into more advanced rigging techniques, and especially so much more videos that we have yet to come with new manuals that are going to be released based off our load distribution plate, and also even some new rope lanyard and winch rope splicing techniques that we're going to share with you, which a lot of you have seen in all the videos in the back end here of E3. This is going to be another thing that we're going to really be able to help to empower people to be better and be safer and more equipped when they're out on the trail.
You rock.
Now, for this reason is exactly why we carry the Factor 55 Justin approved. No, but the rope retention pulley. This thing is super lightweight. It's way lighter than those big hunk of metal, you know, I mean, yeah. So I want Justin to tell you a little bit about this, because this is actually what we carry. This is what we use for everything.
Exactly. And so I think, and the other point I would like to make too is one of the things about the heavy metal snatch blocks too, on top of that, it's great for anyone that's still using steel cable. There are plenty of people that are out wheeling that don't use synthetic rope, right? So our RRP is for synthetic rope only, right? So the advantage with this thing is not only has it been billet machined at a 60-61 Kaiser billet, but it's also been Teflon impregnated, right? So there's no bearing. So the self-lubricating fibers of this ultra-high molecular weight polyethylene that this synthetic rope is made out of is what provides this thing and allows it to rotate, right?
To not have the heat from friction.
Exactly. And if you look really close here, you can see how each side of the pulley is raised. The center part is raised. So what happens in that situation, when you take the soft shackle and you feed that through here, and now this thing gets put under load, just how we were talking about the really tight bend radius of those hard pulleys, even if the soft shackle is attached to something that's got a small radius, this pulley is only going to spin freely and self-align without dragging the legs of the soft shackle on either side. So it's going to be the most efficient way possible. One of the other advantages of this though, again, right, you take your rope, once you set your rope in between here and it falls under tension, what that's going to do, that's going to allow the rope to rotate freely through those silicone fingers, right? But when you get slack on the line, it stops the rope from falling out. That's one of the key features, and that's the patented feature of the rope retention pulley. And it's just this easy to hook up. So in that same scenario where you come down here to where you have a tree saver or you have a hitch receiver shackle mount or any type of mount through here. So look at this. If I put the soft shackle through here, right, I'm turning the rope in kind of a weird way. So the other thing is also thinking about how you're setting your rigging and how it's going to orient once you put load underneath of it. So as the soft shackle comes through here, right, this would also help to dictate which side maybe you want to feed the soft shackle through that mount, wherever it might be. Come back through here, pull the noose open, get the knot of the soft shackle through that noose, and boom, right underneath the load, it's all set up and ready to go. So you can kick a little tension onto the controller. And you see already, once this starts spinning, just off of the light load that we have just set up on this demo. And it's perfect where, again, once it goes to slack, the rope can't fall out, but the fingers will help retain that in there. And then you have the safest pull possible you can with the lightest weight piece of equipment.
And one thing I wanted to go over was I see people arguing all the time about the knot needs to be here, the knot needs to be there, the knot needs to be everywhere. Where does the knot need to be?
That's a great question. So typically what a lot of people will say is you want to lock the knot, right? That's what they always say. You want to have the knot up against the rigging in this kind of fashion, right? They say that it might be stronger or that kind of thing. We've actually tested that. If you look at the Factor 55 YouTube, you'll see that we did a variety of tests of our soft shackles, and it does not matter where this knot sits. It doesn't matter. In fact, we found that with the knot being in the middle of the rigging, actually broke at anywhere from 2 to 5% stronger than it did with the knot up against the rigging. Why is that? It could be because the way that this soft shackle is spliced. It could be because of the self-tightening of the noose. But the thing that really matters is that you just get the noose over top of the knot. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter where it goes, right? For some imported, some cheaper soft shackles and versions out there that may have a really loose kind of area, like on the noose end, maybe that could be, you know, a factual thing to be aware of. But when you have a good quality American-made product that has a self-tightening noose like this, it absolutely doesn't matter where the knot is in the winch rigging. And just remember, guys, at the end of the day, what works is what counts. So you just want to mitigate the risks, no matter what type of equipment that you're using. And you just want to make sure that you're using it in the safest way possible so that you can be safe and everybody can be safe out on the trail.
Now, with all that being said, it's time for a little more positive note.
Woo-hoo! For those of you guys that don't know, Connor right here came all the way down from Coeur d'Alene, which is 8 hours from here.
He drove
down here to come
8
wheeling.
hours to come say hi and come wheeling with us, which is so rad.
He just got his JL. It's your first trail?
First trip ever.
First trip wheeling ever.
I didn't know that.
First wheeling trip ever.
We broke it in with a couple of pinstripes.
Yeah.
A few.
There's a couple.
only minor amounts of blood.
Yeah, that's fine.
So we wanted to do, right, just as a thank you, right, for coming all the way down here, man, and being with us. So we're actually going to hook Connor up with a flat link E and a rope guard down in the front. So we're going to take it over here and install it on his vehicle.
We're going to install right here on the trail. How many miles are on your Jeep?
35,000 and 0 off-roading miles.
Properly breaking this thing in.
One of the big key features, again, is going to show here is that right now, man, you wheeled all day. You had the rope completely exposed. Now, we were on a light trail, but had we been in rocks, this thing is out here just exposed to the elements, right? Tree limbs can grab onto this. Rocks, ledges could do that. It could damage this winch line. In fact, you already see that you have some wear just from this thing bouncing around out here. So one of the biggest benefits of our closed system shackle mounts is you're going to replace this conventional winch hook. You're going to be able to save the paint and finish on your powder coat. Integrated rubber pads are going to suck this thing up tight right in there, and you're going to have a total clean new look on the front end of your vehicle. Normally, you guys better be careful. If I find your Jeep at the mall, I'm going to put it in free spool and tie your rope around a light post or something. Heads up. You come out and your winch rope is spooled out somewhere, you can guarantee it was me. Safer and better.
Boom.
High five. Thanks for coming out here, buddy. Appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having me.
Just got done with a trail ride out here today in Idaho, right? We had Light Bright Nation on the trail with us today. It's been fantastic to have Kevin and Brittany come in and visit and to be out here with us. We got some exclusive content for Light Bright.
Yep.
Right, you can check it out on Instagram at Light Bright Studios, and also for all the E3 members, we got some exclusive content for E3 off-road members as well. So today was just awesome. And thank you guys so much for being here.
Dude, thank you for
It's
having us.
awesome, dude. Just having a band has been so good, man. It's been awesome, man.
No, Idaho has absolutely killed it. This was an awesome trip. It was an awesome trail ride. Awesome exclusive content.
Next time we'll do some like
Okay, cool.
hardcore.
Yeah, we'll do like
Yeah, yeah.
This
hard
is for the
intro.
fans.
Yeah,
This
man,
is-
it was great.
Yeah,
man.
it was fantastic.
It was a great time. So we'll see you guys at Smoky Mountain.
Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion.
So stay with us, man, and we'll see you soon. We out.
Bye.